bronzer, blush, foundation, concealer. That's all you need. Girl, it's summertime. You need to know how to do your makeup, okay? You need to know how to do your makeup, and you need to know how to make it last. All you need is 8 products to do a full face that will last, okay? You're gonna get dimension, you're gonna get coverage, okay? We're gonna split them into 2 sections. You have your wet and you have your set. For every wet product, I have a corresponding set product. Let me show you. For my foundation, I have a foundation colored powder. For my concealer, I have a loose powder, a setting powder to set my concealer. For my bronzer, I have a powder bronzer. And for my blush, I have a powder blush. So essentially what we are doing is just pairing the wet products to the dry products. And that's gonna help you get coverage. That's gonna help you reinforce those products. That's gonna help those products last. And it's simple, so let's do it. So for my wet lineup, I have a foundation, I have a cream or liquid bronzer, I have a concealer, and I have a cream and liquid blush. For my dry products, I have a powder foundation, I have a powder bronzer, a powder blush, and a setting powder. Now this can be translucent, it could be peach, it could be yellow, it could be orange, it could be whatever color that works best for you. So let's get it. This is the wet part. So we're gonna start with foundation. What does foundation do? Why are we even using foundation in the first place? Foundation is going to give us an even playing field. So it's going to make sure that the skin tone is even so that we can then go and layer products and add light, warmth, and dimension. So your goal for foundation is not to just put on a ton unless you absolutely want to have on a ton. You really just want to focus on the areas that you need the most coverage and sheer out the rest so you don't kind of look like a mask, especially if you're black. Sometimes our neck might be different from our chest and all that, unless you want to bring it all the way down to your neck and your chest, but you don't have to. So you just want to make sure that everything kind of looks even. There's no lines of demarcation. So I'm just going to take my foundation, and I always kind of start in the center of the face and just work it out. And I always like to go in with a flat brush because it just gives me control of where I'm placing the product, because we still want to look natural. If you don't know, I specialize in natural glam because it's just the type of makeup that I love and it works best for my face. So we always want the skin to look like skin. So once you have your foundation on, you're just going to take a brush or a sponge, whatever you prefer, and just tap that into the skin. We're not using a ton of pressure. We're just tapping it in. And I'm not swiping because, once again, we don't have on a ton of foundation. So I want to keep that coverage. And sometimes when you buff and you swipe or you stipple, it shears out the product. So I like to keep my products just tapped in, working into the skin, and we're just melting it in. You see that? Gorgeous. So step 1, our foundation is on. We have an even playing field on our face. Our next order of business is to add some warmth back to the face. So we kind of took away all the warmth, the natural light and dark of the face by adding the foundation. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to add that back by using a bronzer. So I like to bronze, and this has a warm undertone, so it's kind of going to give me like a skin kiss kind of vibe, like a sun kiss kind of vibe, right? So I'm going to place this in all the areas where I would naturally tan or be a little warmer or a little darker. So I'm going to place that around the perimeter of the face, on the cheekbones, and then I'm going to kind of do a little bit on the nose, anywhere that you want to create a little more dimension to, because those 2 contrasting colors create a little bit of dimension. So we're going to take our bronzer and we're just gonna drag that along those areas. And I'm using this same brush because this is one of my favorite brushes, and I just use this to apply everything. A flat brush, it's like literally painting on your face, which is why I love it. I'm gonna place it right alongside the bridge of the nose. Do you see how that created a little bit of contrast, a little bit of dimension right there? So it kind of looks like my nose is lifted up off my face. That's basically what we're doing with the bronzer and the different shades. We're just kind of pushing some things back and we're kind of pulling some things forward. And then just to make sure your blend is good, just go back in with your foundation brush and just kind of go along some of those edges because we want it to be seamless. Don't necessarily go over the bronze areas, but alongside those, you know, those little edges right there. Okay, so our foundation evened out our skin. Our bronzer gave us a little bit of warmth, a little bit of dimension. Now we want some color, some vibrance, some life on the face. So we're going in with blush. We're just gonna go ahead and go in with some blush, and you can blush wherever you want to. I like to blush right here. Basically wherever the color is, the light is, that's where the eye is going to be drawn to. So just keep that in mind when you are blushing and where you are blushing. But this is just adding a little more life back to the face because we kind of canceled everything out with the foundation and we're just adding everything back in. But our foundation is giving us that flawless, like beautiful skin look. So we do absolutely need her, but she just needs a little, you know, a little help from her friends to make everything work. And that's what the blush is doing. Now we have a little more life back to the skin. We got some warmth, we got some color. Last order of business is to add some light back to the skin. So that's what we're gonna do with our concealer. And we're gonna be very strategic with this because like I said, the eye goes where the light is. So we really wanna bring some light to the center of our face because we want people to focus on our beautiful mug right here when they look at us like, oh girl, look at the gorgeous face. We're gonna bring it down the center of the nose. And another tip and trick that I like to do is if you don't know where to highlight, you see how these lights are hitting my face and you see how they're kind of highlighting certain areas on my face naturally. You follow the light. So you can follow those areas where the light is naturally beaming on your face to mimic your concealer and where you want to put light at. Like if I tilt my head back, you see how it's right here. That's why I like to go right here. You could bring it down here if you just want a little more fullness right there. But yeah, that's typically where I like to add a little more light to the face. So now we're just gonna blend out our concealer and we're just tapping that in, and it's gonna help balance out the chest and the face so that everything works together color wise. Go back in with your brushes that have the excess product on it. Don't add any more product and just clean it up. So this is the brush I use to blend out my bronzer. We are just cleaning up certain areas. We're not adding any more product. We just want to make sure that everything blends very well. We're going to take the brush that we used to blend out our blush and just kind of marry that concealer and that blush together so everything just looks like it's one and it doesn't really start and stop. That is how you get seamless makeup. Flip that over, use that excess foundation and just further blend everything out. Okay, so you have completed your wet portion. We did foundation to even out the playing field. We did bronzer, we added a little bit of warmth, a little bit of dimension to the face. We did blush, we added a little life, a little color, and then we did a concealer that was lighter so that we can add a little bit of light to the face. Now we're gonna set with the corresponding products, okay? You can set in whatever order you want. However, I'm gonna start with concealer because I don't want my concealer to crease. I want my under eyes to be set. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the corresponding product for concealer, which is a loose setting powder. I'm gonna just get this. I have a little powder puff I'm gonna use. Make sure everything is blended out. And we're just gonna lightly set. Just lightly sitting that powder on top. Setting the whole under eye area, the blush, the concealer, all of it. We're also gonna set all the areas that we concealed. Now you can go in with more layers of powder if you want to. That's going to give you more coverage. You can bake if you want to. That means like leaving an excess amount of powder on the skin for an extended period of time like this. You'll just leave it, let it sit, and then come back later and blend it in. That's going to give you extra coverage. That's going to give you extra longevity of your makeup. You can really do whatever you want. I'm just kind of giving you the basics. Next, I like to go in and set my bronzer. So we're just reinforcing everything that we did in the wet phase. We're using the dry products. We're using them in the same place that we use the wet products in. Just right on top. We're just setting everything or reinforcing it. Same thing with blush. Now I'm going in with my blush everywhere that I used that other blush. And then lastly, I just like to use the foundation to set the remaining areas that we haven't touched. So any areas that don't have layered concealer, bronzer, or blush on them, we're just setting and we're just blending. And just like that, we're done. The makeup is done. All you have to do is your brows, a little bit of bronzer on the lid, a lip combo, you're good to go, okay? So pair your wet products with your dry products. All you need is 8. I'm sure you could find 8, and I know you could find 8, girl. Bronzer, blush, foundation, concealer. 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 That's all you need. You need a wet and a dry. That's all you need, girl. A bronzer, a blush, a foundation, and a concealer. That's all you need, a wet and a dry, and you are good to go. And you just do it like that, wet to set, wet to set, wet to set, okay? Wet to set, wet to set, and you're good to go. There we have it. Grab your 8 products, build your makeup routine. All you need is 8 products to start your whole makeup routine. And you could travel with 8 products, right? If I could hold 8 products in my hand, this is 6, but if I could hold 8 products in my hand, it's easy, it's lightweight. You could travel with 8 products. You have a full face. You can use your bronzer as your eyeshadow. You can use your blush as your eyeshadow. Like, you can really do a lot with these products, and you're gonna be good to go. I mean, obviously these are just complexion products. You still gonna need a setting spray and a lip combo, but girl, you could throw that in the bag too, okay? Wet to set. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time.
Am I cute or what? Although I'm a young hoe, I don't have a passport. I am sick of Florida and Puerto Rico, and they're sick of me. So let's do a quick passport makeup look. My family's waiting on me in the car, and I only have 10 minutes. So I already prepped my skin. I used the Merit Great Skin Serum and Danessa Meyer Exploring Balm. Of course, y'all know it. And I'm going in with the MPH foundation. I have actually been loving this. I don't have a good like summer foundation shade. I find that this one has been super good. I just put a little bit on the back of my hand, take her brush, and then just stipple it in. It's like the perfect shade match. Hello. Super light as well, but it still covers my acne scars, which is really the main thing that I want to do. I am doing concealer today, even though y'all know I'm bad at it. So I'm kind of avoiding this under eye area. Getting my forehead too, because the forehead still matters. I love this brush, but it is more on like the fluffy, lighter side. So after I blend everything here, it can sometimes be just the slightest bit streaky. So just to make sure that everything is super blended in and super blurred for my photo, I'm going in with the Saie buffing brush and literally just using it to buff out my skin. Just going in patting motions, pat, never drag. Get the neck and get the ears, babe, please. And now the base is set. This is my favorite bronzer duo of all time. It's not even technically a bronzer. The Mario Soft Sculpt Skin Enhancer. I use it with the F4 brush. I just pat the bigger side of the F4 brush into there. Take the residue off on the back of my hand. Back of your hand will be your saving grace for blurred, consistent looking makeup. When I say consistent, I mean everything is blurred and blended together, and nothing is patchy. I don't really contour my nose. My little trick to make it look like snatched and tan is literally just take my bronzer and put it straight down it, and then do a little circle button at the bottom. For the cheeks, I always end up going back in. I put it right where that hollow is. It looks a little bit low right now, but later when we put blush on, it'll turn out really good. And this brush kind of allows me to get exactly into the crevices that I need to and see where my natural shadows are formed. I like to bring it over my eyelids too, just for some little eyeshadow, and then sculpt out the jawline a little bit. I also always bring my bronzer onto my ears. I don't know, I feel like just for consistency and continuity it helps. For blush, I do want to look nice and tan in this photo in Sunkissed, so I'm gonna use these Sachu blushes. These are like stains, so they're gonna stay on, and I actually haven't tried them before, which might be a bad idea for makeup that I have to do in 10 minutes. But I think I'm gonna go in with this darker, like berry type shade, and I am gonna put it on the back of, ooh, look at that. Wow, very pigmented. Glad I put it on the back of my hand. Other side of my F4 brush, just going in and patting. Oh my god, yeah. Wait, this is a stain for real. I'm scared. I'm trying to do like 2 layers of color, so I'm really gonna just lightly take this here. Oh my god, this might be too much. I'm scared. I'm bringing it under my eyes. Let's take my Say brush and buff it out. Okay, I'm gonna take this other little blush brush from Hourglass. This one's a little bit more fluffy, and going in with my Danessa Myricks blush. This is so perfect for like a sun-kissed look. Like, this is literally the color I get when I'm tan. It's in Spice Latte. And I'm just gonna take this and put it kind of horizontally on my face to blend into that other color. And then a little bit down the nose as well. Of course, gotta get the forehead. And then the chin too. This is just the base because I'm still doing concealer. I actually just recently got a bunch of stuff from Sephora. I want to try one of the things that I got that I'm most excited about. It's the Haus Labs concealer. I got the shade 22 Light Medium Peach. Oh, baby, I'm out of breath. My sister has this and I really liked it. Wow, this is really light. Put it. Honestly, I don't have time for this shit to dry down, so we're just gonna blend. My favorite concealer brushes, Hourglass. This one, it's like kind of flat-ish, which makes it great, and this Say one is kind of fluffy. I'm gonna try to let the under eye sit a little bit more, so I'm just gonna blend out my cheeks and between my eyebrows. Putting it here because this is where your natural highlight points are when light hits your face, so in my photo, it will look very natural. I'm blending my concealer in a way where I'm not really moving it from where it's originally placed. I'm keeping it pretty tight to where it already is, except for under my eye. Obviously, I'm blending it out to cover things. Guys, I'm scared. This looks kind of insane. I think my under eyes are just looking like pink. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's the peachiness undertone of the concealer. Let me go find my Hourglass because that never does me wrong. Okay, I got my Hourglass concealer. I use Beach shade 6. This is more of a neutral undertone, which I think hopefully will set this off nicely. We're a bit too gray around here right now. I am going to try to let it dry down just a little bit because I do feel like it turns out better when I do that. It's supposed to build up coverage. I don't know. That's just what the beauty people say, so that's what I be doing. While this is drying down though, can we talk about no part slick back? What the fuck does that even mean? Genuinely, what does that mean? Rich celebrity white girls get on y'all's For You page and y'all don't know how to act. Never had an original thought in life. When I say y'all, I hope I'm not talking to my audience because I hope y'all aren't like that because those bitches are birds. Literally birds. They need to get offline. They don't even need to touch grass. They need to go to the library and pick up a book about slavery, okay? And learn something that will help insert some knowledge into their brains. Anyways, time to blend this out now. Let's see. Well, we'll definitely have a bright under eye, that's for sure. Bitch, this shit looks crazy. It's okay. I'm gonna find it. This might be the best my makeup has ever turned out. You know, you never know. Let's keep it optimistic. Okay, let's just keep moving forward. Okay. I think what would really help is a little bit of buffing. Say buffer brush, please save me. Oh my god, and I really hope that I don't have flashback in this photo. Oh fuck. Okay, this is fine. I'm gonna add some dimension back into my face with that Danessa Myricks blush. I didn't even put more on my brush. This is just the residual. This is not turning out how I thought it would. I thought this was gonna be a cute little quick tutorial. I should have known better. It's me. That just doesn't happen. Okay, period. We're getting somewhere a little bit. I feel like I'm happy with this right now. Say city set. Now I got a fan. Ooh, uh-oh. Me breaking my mirror. It's not meant to be a fan. Yes, it is. Now it's time to set, which is low-key the scare. I got powder all over my mirror, which is low-key the scariest part. I always like to blend a little bit more under the eye before I set. Hit a little blend, hit a little set. Uh-oh, okay. Uh-oh, I might be doing something here. Wow, that is fab. That is really fab. Let's hit a powder bronze moment. I literally just got this NARS Laguna bronzer because I haven't had a powder bronzer since I had Hula in, like, I don't know, middle school. Let's just use that to warm my face back up a little bit. Gabrielle. Yes, I'm sorry, I'm almost done. Like, for real. The bronzer's looking good. Now I'm gonna use my tried and true Sephora Collection pressed powder. This is just to lock everything in. Just does its job, and it does its job well, let me tell you. We're gonna hit a devious combo, city set and one size. Oh yeah, that hairspray smell. And then the city set, so I still have the glow on top. Okay, lashes looking good. For lips, I'm going in with my Oh Freaking G MAC lip liner in Cool Spice. Basically the exact shade of my lips. Blending it out. I want a blurred lip for this. I don't want gloss, so I'm gonna use my Merit. I've been really loving this recently. What a perfect little sultry lip. Last thing, just a little bit of freckles. I'm using my Sephora freaking lip stain, and I just dot it on. I feel like the ones at like the top of your nose make your nose look really snatched. Am I cute or what? I'm ready for my passport photo. Period.
Says who?
Says me.
Says you, and that's supposed to mean something to me?